day, another wild story in a crazy raid. Gossip nights and endless chats, we're taking turns with heartfelt laughs. Yeah, it's a world where secrets spill, best friends ride on every thrill. From late night talks to morning cheers, we got each other year after year. Girl, did you hear that wild thing? We got stories that'll make you sing. From heartbreaks to dreams so clear, it's the podcast song for friends who cheer.
Have you ever gotten upset with the amount of when your refund changes or when you didn't get one?
I've been upset when I've had to pay.
Yeah.
And then
It's weird falling down as an adult unexpectedly.
because you're like, oh, I'm on the ground now. Why am I down here? What happened?
As we get older, we lose the ability to care what people think about us. We're
Right.
like, I don't give a you know?
Right.
Like you get to that point.
Like, I've slipped and fell in front of someone as they were
No.
pulling in their driveway because it was their sidewalk that
No.
wasn't shoveled. Like, I busted ass.
Did they
5'10".
get out?
No,
Gosh.
they didn't.
They didn't help?
Stayed in their car.
Nuh-uh.
I sat there for a second.
Hey guys, welcome to Girl Did You Hear? I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jessica.
Today is episode 30.
We made it to the big 3. Our little podcast.
Remember when you were 30?
Oh, that was a good
Remember
time.
when we were 30?
Yeah, that was such a great time.
We went through our whole 30s together.
We did.
And part of our 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So fun.
Dang, dude.
That's crazy.
We've been friends a long time.
I know. Like when I think about it, it makes me feel old, but I'm like, we're not old at the same time.
But that's also the coolest thing like I think I could have ever.
Yes.
It's like the most valuable thing to me is a friend that you can have for decades.
yeah.
You know
and
what
it's
I'm
just
saying?
like
And it's
continuous ebb and
natural.
flow. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love it.
No pressure, no nothing.
Mm-mm.
Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We really do appreciate your support. What did you want to talk about today?
So, tax day is coming up.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I am not a fan of this day.
it
It sucks when you have multiple businesses. I will tell you that.
I anticipate it, even though I'm just, your normal W-4
Right.
worker. I don't have really any crazy deductions or anything like that, But every year I always fear
You're
that I
like,
have
"What's
to
gonna
pay,
happen?"
and then, I normally end up getting a little bit of a refund.
Mm-hmm.
And only a couple years when we were making good money at Subaru
Mm-hmm.
did I have to pay.
Really?
Yeah.
I think because
Subaru didn't take any taxes out of their
like their bonuses.
remember?
Yeah.
That was
I
the only
actually I did have to pay a couple years. Or there's one year where I hit all those bonuses every quarter,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to pay that year.
It's rough. It's so nice because you get the money instantly.
Yeah.
And you're like, yay, I got it all. But then Uncle Sam's like, wait a minute.
Wait, that's
I need
too
some of
much.
that back.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Bring it in.
So like, when you're like younger, it's cool to get a refund because like you're like, oh yeah,
Oh, extra money.
yeah,
I was not expecting this.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think sometimes people like start to actually expect it, like as like a payment of some sort. But like realistically, like if you don't owe anything to the IRS
Mhm.
at the end of the year, like that's perfect. Like you broke even. Like
Right.
you did the thing.
If you don't owe them
Perfectly.
and they don't owe you,
Yeah.
you asked for the right amount of taxes.
Exactly.
Right.
And the reason that you're getting a refund is because you paid too much into.
Right.
Right. And when people get like when you earn more money, it bumps you up into a higher tax bracket, which increases the amount of taxes that they take from you,
Right.
which then can also lower the amount of your refund.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of people get like upset about that. What do you like? Have you ever gotten upset with the amount of it when your refund changes or when you didn't get
yeah,
one?
I've been
Like,
upset when
obviously,
I've
like,
had to pay.
Yeah.
And then
Obviously.
the first time I didn't owe any money
Mhm.
and I wasn't getting anything, I also didn't understand that and I was upset. So that took some education. And now that I understand that that's most ideal, I don't mind that I get a refund, but I don't expect it. Like it's
Right.
ever since I hit that nil and then I was like, oh, that's how taxes work.
Right.
I have been okay with it. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like I don't expect the refund. If I do get a refund, I try and appropriate the funds for something either constructive
Yeah.
or, I mean, upgrade in some sort. Like I use
Same.
I use it for good. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I try and not use it for like the groceries or bullshit or something like
Yeah.
that. I try and like use it to improve.
Yeah.
So, it's always tough though, because it's a give and take, because everybody wants that extra $1,000, right? And
Right.
everybody wants that extra X amount of
Whatever.
money
Mhm.
from a stipend check from the government because, just because whatever reason the government comes up with for.
Right.
So like it's nice when we get extra money, because I can understand that people who have kids and all that other fun stuff who have deductions,
Mhm.
right, get more money back.
Right.
So when you're used to counting on it, because you're like, okay, every year
I get this,
I
this,
get
and
this
this.
and this and this, because I have all these kids or deductions or this business or whatever
and then
they
something
use.
probably changes
Mhm.
in the controller's
Because like the tax laws
office
change all the time.
all the time.
Yeah. And like I've been in a business where they've gone through a bunch of buy sells, and I've had to keep up with how they're keeping track of my taxes, because with every switch of the company, it's never the same. Like
Oh shit.
yeah, they
That's messed up.
they say that they transferred over your W-4s from your previous account, but it's like the deductions are different. I'm like, that's not what I asked for. So I mean, it's just a
Right.
matter of, but it took me till well in my 30s to figure out what's
What's going
for.
on?
Because
Yeah.
remember when you'd get that sheet, your employer would come down and like hand you that piece of paper and be
It's
like,
terrifying.
fill this out and
I'm
don't
like,
don't
I don't
mess it up.
know.
You're like, I don't know what any of this means.
I don't know what to fill out.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to fill it out wrong
No.
because I don't want to owe at the end of the year. I want as much money from those Uncle Sam's as I can. Like,
Yeah.
it's really tough. And then as you get older, you begin to understand, oh, that's what that's for.
Right.
And you also get to understand, like, oh, well, I can use these things as deductions if you have
Mhm.
enough to make a deduction worth it,
Right.
sort of thing. But remember when we had the worksheets, when we had to fill out taxes, like you had to go to the little library and get like the W-4 form or the whatever they call it, and then fill it out. And it was like
Mhm.
this little paper book.
It was not enjoyable.
It was such
The
an
first
arduous
time I
time.
filed
Mhm.
my taxes when as an adult, I ended up owing money.
Oh, boo.
Yeah. And I was like, what?
How? This is the first
How?
time. Well, you
I
scratched a one when it
just-
should have been a zero
I
somewhere.
didn't ask questions. I just paid what I needed to pay. It was only like $800 or something
Yeah,
like that.
but still,
I was like,
the first time as an adult when that's still a lot of money.
I was excited to get like my first like tax refund.
Right, because you hear about how fun those
Yeah.
are, right? And all the tax refund sales and all that fun
Yeah,
stuff.
and no.
No.
Some tattoo artists do like tax refund sales,
Tax
like
refund
promotions.
tattoos.
Yeah,
That's hilarious. I mean, you see that in like furniture stores and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like they know like when the season is.
Are
Everyone
you kidding
knows.
me? We in the automotive industry, that's when it would
100%.
pick up. Would be when
100%.
everybody started receiving their
Yes.
refunds. Is
It
when
was
they're like, oh, I've got
always
this extra money.
January, February,
March were the slowest months,
slowest months in
Mhm.
the auto industry.
and then April all the way to like the end of October,
Yep.
just before
Just gonna say
Thanksgiving.
that. Yep.
You are holding on to your ass
Yeah, you are
because
running circles all day long.
if you don't, you're in the weeds all day. Like
Yeah,
it's-
and you're not making any money.
I mean, I feel bad for those people when I walk on that drive and I'm like, ooh,
You got a busy day today.
I don't gotta deal with that anymore. Like it's fun.
How satisfying
It's
is that though?
fun for me. I love it. I can't express how much respect I have for those guys because I don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's
And
it's
you
like
know,
I know
like,
how tough their job is, and I know how much it sucks, and I know how much I don't have to deal with it. So I'm like,
You're like-
I'll pick up a phone and I'll put it on hold,
Mhm.
or I'll address a customer in the drive and be like, hey, just give us a moment. One of us will be right with you. I'll try and like kick
know.
in those old service advisor skills just to make it
But
so
not
that the
too
people
much.
are greeted. No, I'm not checking people in. I'm not writing ROs. No. I am
You're
like,
you're not displaying those skills. 'Cause they'll-
because if I show those, they'll be like, "Oh, hey, can you help me with this?"
Yep.
No.
And that's how you get looped back in.
That's how you get looped back in.
No one wants to do that.
No.
I've been seeing a lot of people complain on social media about their tax refunds, like I had said, which I thought that was like ridiculous because I was like, no, it's not how it's supposed to work. But whatever.
But if you consistently get something back from the government every year, it's
and then
like,
you don't, you're like, oh,
Aw.
shit.
right.
Like,
It's like if you ring the bell and you get
Yeah.
a treat. Every time you ring the bell, you get a treat. You ring the bell and you don't
Yeah.
get a treat. You're like, why?
having multiple businesses and I hate it every year.
It's
I
got to be
hate-
wild.
First of all, it's expensive for me to file my taxes.
Yeah. Because I'm sure you
Um,
use a guy. That's the smartest
I
way.
have a guy.
Yeah.
It's like $600.
Yes. But you know he's doing it right because
And
he
every
knows.
year I can write that off
Right. But still,
the next year. But
you have to
in
pay
the, moment,
guy
I'm like,
$600.
damn.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm always terrified knocking on fake wood that I'm going to have to owe, because with businesses, like, you never know sometimes,
you
you know,
don't.
like, yes, we have a lot of write-offs. Yes, there's a lot of deductions, especially in like video, camera, photography, production, like
Right.
a lot of the equipment we can write off, and like those become like depreciating assets essentially. So you can claim them every year until it's zero, essentially.
Right.
Like,
Until they've depreciated.
exactly. But like, it's a certain percent each year, and then it gets lower and lower and lower and lower. But like,
Keeping track of all of that
it's a lot.
is a book, I'm sure.
Yeah. And like, whatever, you know, your monthly expenses are for whatever's you're paying, like, it's a lot.
That's insane.
Yeah. Like, I've thought about it. I'm like, I could probably just do it myself online. I'm like, no.
Don't even dance with that
I
devil.
will mess it up.
Dude,
It's not good.
no, it's not good.
Also with like getting older and stuff, I was thinking the other day when I was cleaning, what have you noticed about yourself that you like are starting to dislike now, like as you've gotten older in comparison to before in your younger years?
So
Such
what
a tough
So what
question.
annoys me now that I'm older that didn't annoy me when I was younger?
Yeah.
People who talk like this. They really take their time in every word that they say. They mean it.
I can't.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I
Yeah.
get it. Like, I'm like, bro, okay, cool. I understand.
Today, Junior, like, spit
You
it out.
want to work on your vernacular, and you want to make sure that I'm hearing every word. Trust me,
Their
I can
enunciation is
listen.
like perfect.
When I'm listening to a book, like I like to listen to audiobooks. I
Yeah.
listen to that stuff at 2 times speed. And I have a lot of people ask me, like, how do you hear that? How do you understand it? How do you comprehend it? And I'm like, dude,
You're like,
have
my
you-
brain just works that way.
and also, have you ever listened to me talk? I almost talk at 2 times speed.
Same. Sometimes I stumble over my words because my brain
It's
is
like
going so fast, and my mouth is not keeping up with
Right.
like what's trying to spit out.
Right.
So funny.
So, like, into whereas, like, I had a little bit of patience for it earlier because I'm like, oh, this guy, just he'll get to the point.
Right.
You're like, what do you got to do?
You're like,
But now along the same line, it's people who talk too much. I think this day and age we call them yappers. People who will sell you the watch and not tell you the time. People who can just consistently give you a bunch of backstory without getting to the context of the conversation as to why they wanted you in this originally.
like,
You're like,
why they're even conversing with you in the first place.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I appreciate that you've had a good day. Like, good for you. This is great. I'm happy that you're happy to see me too. Wonderful. Please get to the
But-
point. Why am I here? Like, how can
Do
I
you have a
help you?
question? Is there something you need from me?
I mean, like, you
or-
called me over here, and I mean, I'm not a big small talker, so let's
funny.
work with me. And so I mean, and before I think I had a lot more patience for that. Now I'm like, man, and I don't want to be rude, and I have to be cautious because I don't want to be mean.
Right.
I get it. Like, maybe some people just talk really slow, and maybe some people just like to have a little bit of small talk before they get to the actual point. A little bit of foreplay before they have the actual conversation. I understand. To whereas me, I'm like, cut and dry, black and white. Let's go. Why am I here? How can I help? What's my project that you're going to give me so that I can just get it done?
Right.
Like,
what is,
like,
yeah.
I'm trying to progress this even further, and you're trying to fill me in. So
And then trying to like schmooze.
there's a little bit of
you
backstory that I probably need, and a little bit of context that I should understand and gather. And it's people skills that I'm working on.
But
But
people skills.
being older now, I don't have any patience for it.
Yeah,
And
I can
then
relate with that.
I think one of the worst ones is people not shoveling their sidewalk,
Oof,
like for snow.
that's a good one.
Because I walk
You
my
walk your
dogs
dogs.
all year long. And like I get old person cranky when I'm like, you didn't shovel your sidewalk. Like
That's a benefit of living in the HOA. Only in that, like, we'll get fined if we don't shovel our sidewalk.
Right.
So
Like
we
those
are
are
out
clear.
Yeah,
Right.
like 48 hours, I think.
I mean, I know that that's the rule, and I'm sure the HOA is a lot like stricter about holding to it than like say the city is.
Yeah,
Because I think you have to be a pretty habitual offender for the city to be like,
for
"Whoa,
sure.
dude, shovel your
Like,
stuff."
yeah.
But like I've lived in that house for a long time, long time. And I can give you the 5 houses that never shovel their sidewalk.
Assholes.
Dude.
Why, dicks?
And like I've slipped and fell in front of someone as they were
No.
pulling in their driveway because it was their sidewalk that
No.
wasn't shoveled. Like I busted ass. And like
Fuck.
dogs and leashes went everywhere.
Oh.
Like, and this
Did
5'10"
they get out?
giant falling on the ground is a slow process, so I'm sure it's pretty comical.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
they didn't.
They didn't help?
Stayed in their car.
Nuh-uh.
I sat there for a second because when I fall down now,
It, like,
I do a
now.
little system check.
You're like,
Now, speaking of getting old, this ties right in. Like, I kind of just sit down and I'm like, all right, how do I feel about being
Yeah.
down here? Well, I'm a little embarrassed because adults don't fall down.
I know. It is so embarrassing when like you fall down as an adult. Like that. Like why?
I was
Why
up
is
here,
it
now
like
down
that?
here. And so, like, fortunately enough, the dogs didn't go anywhere and they're licking my face, making sure I'm
Like,
okay.
Mom, what are you doing down
She's
here?
like, wait a minute. You're supposed to be up there.
That's so funny.
So I'm like, okay, is anything broken? Am I feeling fine? Like, how are we doing? Okay, we're okay. Can I
Right.
get up? Like, get up slowly and just motor on. And then the guy, like, stopped, slowly pulled up, and then just continued pulling into his driveway. And then I didn't, nor am I going to turn around and go, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be a thing.
She's
It's
like,
it's
oh.
no. Well, because also I'm pink in the cheeks because I just fell down. You know what I'm saying? Like I went boom boom.
trying to hold back like embarrassment tears and shame and all the things that hopefully no one caught that, like their ring
I
doorbell.
kinda fell on my wrist, so they're a little scuffed up,
And it's probably
my
cold,
butt's
and
all
so
wet because
everything
of the ice.
hurts
and
more.
Yeah, but you know,
Bad
it was,
time.
It was adults don't fall down.
That's a shitty thing.
Yeah.
Adults don't fall down.
And then like as
It's weird falling down as an adult unexpectedly.
because you're like, oh, I'm on the ground now. Why am I down here? What happened?
The other day when we had our leakage, our water leak from our dishwasher that we had to fix, we have like, you know, where our little sit counter is where everybody sits all the time in our kitchen.
Right.
There's like a vent right there on the other side of our dishwasher.
Mhm.
So it's like an island,
Right.
essentially. And then, so that's where you could see some of the water. I sent you that video. That's where
Right.
it was, right there.
Dang.
And when I was looking through there, I like went to go stand up and I whacked my head on the freaking
Ow.
granite countertop,
Oh.
dude. I thought I was far enough. Like I
Like
thought I
you
was
cleared
in,
it?
I thought I was in the clear. No.
Nope.
And it like stunned me for a second. I like grabbed my head. I like went down, like held it. And I was like, ooh, I was like, damn, that fucking hurt.
You
I
like
was
just see stars for a second.
it like was like just like a flash, you know, like that quick like
Yeah.
jolt. It was like right here. I went bam.
Is
and I
it
was
still
like,
tender?
yeah, I could feel like the bump there.
Oh.
I was like, damn, that shit hurt. But like when you do stuff like that as an adult, it definitely like hits different.
No, legitimately.
Legitimately, yeah.
I mean, because like we try and when our kids fall down, you're just like, oh, it's okay.
You try to, like,
good
laugh.
job.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
just make it all right. But like when I fall down, it's not okay.
Yeah.
Nobody better laugh.
No.
Like, let's be real.
It sucks sometimes when
Yeah.
you do silly things like that.
Dude,
And
it's hard.
I'm clumsy, believe it or not, and I like run into things all the time. Like that's my issue.
You have no spatial awareness.
Sometimes, yeah, like I'm like moving like through the house too quickly and I cut corners too quick, or like I'll be like making the bed and I whack my knee on the freaking end of the bedboard, you know,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I'm guilty of that
oh
one.
gosh, like
Yeah.
that one gets me all the time.
Same.
Not cool.
So what don't you stand? because you're older now.
Definitely relate with you with people, like the people and patience and like the ability to want to cater
Mm-hmm.
to that type of
Oh yeah,
stuff like is not
is not there.
there as it was before. You know, like I'm just like, no, like I don't.
You're not
I
as
don't
much of
wanna-
a people pleaser. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like that's something that I've tried to work on.
Yeah.
Like over the last few years because I am very much a people pleaser, but I
Same.
also because of that I overload myself and then it affects other areas in my life in a negative way.
And then I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, and then I'm like, why am I doing this? You know.
Yeah.
And also like being away from Florida and like having that like break essentially
Right.
from not everything but like from the
That
chaotic
routine?
of like
Yeah.
you know always doing photo shoots and like just constantly like my schedule being full and like plus I was doing bail bonds at the same time and
yeah.
like it was just like a lot going on with all of that. I was always on the go, you know. And then when we kind of had that break, it was like okay, like it kind of gave me time to like reassess like values of like within myself, you know, like what am I doing, like what's more important, you know, like where's my main focus going to go, like I need to learn the balance, right?
Right.
And being able not to saying yes, 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 yes. But my ability to like have that small talk and like want to
Is gone.
Like
Yeah.
like it's sad, like I don't want to say that in like a bad way because I have a lot of very genuine friendships
Right.
with I have like a small circle. I know a lot of people, but my close circle is small. But I have a lot of very genuine friendships and females, especially where it's always ebb and flow.
Right.
You know, and I can we come into each other's lives and then we kind of go out and we come back in and anytime I drift in and out of those people's lives, like it's completely fine. Like there's not anything there. And I think that is what like my main focus is more so now versus like all of these like baby little random relationships or whatever.
I
you
see
know?
what you're saying. You're kind of
Like
like
at
focusing
Subaru-
in on the people who matter.
At Subaru, we had to have that small talk with people.
Yeah.
Like we were trained to do that.
Yeah.
But it was like sometimes
Well, that's customer service.
sometimes
man.
it was genuine
Yeah.
because like there were genuine
There were people you genuinely liked. Yeah.
Yes. And like I cared about their story or whatever they were telling me. I was like, oh damn, you know, like
Right.
I wanted to help them, you know, and like that was great and everything. But like also being in that business and being in customer service wears you down.
It does.
And I blamed that a lot
Mhm.
for like my shift because once I started working for myself and not having to do that for the last 8 years, it's been like I can't imagine how I would handle like if I had to get an actual job, obviously I would.
Right.
And I would just man up and fucking do the shit.
Find something
Yeah.
to do. Right.
But like if I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a job, like, cause I'm bored and like wanted to just like make extra money,
You're
like,
not going to go be a barista at Starbucks.
no, and I'm not gonna go back to the auto industry, and like, it would be hard for me, I think, now to like readapt to the work culture of what it is now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd be
In that
surprised.
sense,
Right.
because like I know everybody I know is still working, so I hear from you what's going on. I hear from Gracie, like I hear from even Jaden the stuff that she deals with at her work, and she's only 17.
Well, she works in retail.
Yeah, but like, you know, within internally and externally within companies and businesses,
Right. No,
you know,
I see
on
what you're
both
saying.
ends. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and so I think, you know, over time, as we get older, we lose the ability to care what people think about us. We're
Right.
like, I don't give a fuck, you know?
Right.
Like you get to that point where you're like, I really don't care what people think as much. You know?
And all I mean by the fact that she works in retail is that's where people are at their worst.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Retail
Like,
sucks.
I commend her wholeheartedly
Yeah.
because she's in that industry because that's hard.
It is
I
hard.
mean, I
worked-
can sometimes get a little spicy in stores.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why. Like
Yeah.
I don't like
I
it.
don't
I
know why.
recognize it. Like maybe they just aren't having what I'm looking for and I'm
Right.
tired of looking for what I'm looking for, or like I'm having a bad try on day or whatever
you
the
just
case
don't
may be.
feel like having
Like,
the small talk or
and I
hearing the sales or
see-
whatever, right?
I see the way the general public treats someone who works in retail like that person works for them and
Mhm.
that's not their job.
No.
And like kudos to her because
It's not fun.
Dude, that job ain't for the weak. Like, I
No.
remember your stories from like Gordman's and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, and I worked there while
retail
working
is
at
not
Subaru
for the weak.
just to pick up extra money, like around the holidays, like way back when the
Mhm.
girls were way little. And that was horrible because I had not worked retail like since my teenage years. And I was like mid-20s when I did that. And I was like, what is going on in the world?
Well, because like the whole reason why I shifted out of customer service, working as a service advisor, into warranty was because of the people. Like it got to the point to where I was no longer able to be myself. I was no longer
Correct.
able to like I was getting to be an awful person to everybody. Friends,
Yes.
family, the customer standing in front of me, the
Yeah.
random lady at the grocery store. I was unbearable.
Yeah.
Or at least in my mind. I'm sure other people were like, oh, well, you were just fine. But like to me, I noticed there was a problem.
I noticed there was a problem too, and it affected my work at Subaru.
It did.
And it, like, Trevor was like, hey, I think it's time.
To let it go.
Yeah. And you need to focus on something else, which is what gave me the push to even do my own business.
Which I'm so proud of
which
you.
is crazy. Like,
Because it's
been
so hard to get out of the automotive industry, dude.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh, I know.
I
It's
can't.
hard to walk away from that money, dude.
It is. It's easy. And the fact that I have a degree in it makes it even harder because I
Yeah.
could show that little piece of paper and be like, please give me a job. They're like, well, how do I tell you no? Because you know,
Right.
you know. I know you know.
Yeah.
I mean, not only mention the fact that I've been in it for so long. So it was a rinse, wash, repeat. Because once I
Mhm.
got out of the customer service line and was able to just kind of shelter in and kind of regrow a
You're
little
like,
bit.
"Yoop."
I mean, I felt better. Like I
Yeah.
feel more social. I feel like I have more energy for people.
Yes.
Versus in the before time, I was like, I can't hang out.
No.
I don't want to do any of this because I am just
No, 'cause
socially
it,
tapped
like, it
every time.
sucks,
Because
like-
the people have shifted, man.
Yes.
Like it has been a change. Like I mean, maybe even I'm guilty of it, but we've gone from being understanding to having no understanding.
Correct. I agree. There's no like middle area
No.
there. And I can't like I think I started to like see that happen like a little bit at Subaru, and it was just like, what is going on? Like nothing was just like, I don't know. It was just weird.
It's like people were walking around like you owe them something.
Yes.
When I don't owe you anything.
No, like you brought your vehicle here for service. We are telling you the problem that's wrong with the car that you asked us to check.
Right.
And now you're yelling at me
Right.
because A, you don't either agree with what that problem is that I'm telling you,
Or you don't understand.
or you don't understand it. So I tried to explain it in different ways, and then
It's
it's
just in over your head, and then now they're not listening, and
no,
you're not listening, and, it's
then
just a whole breakdown.
then they're upset, and
Yeah.
then I get a bad survey, and then
that reflects your
screw
pay,
everything.
which affects your attitude. It's a whole vicious
Yeah,
circle.
it's a
like,
vicious
not
cycle, bro.
even, It's unrealistic.
I
is
think anybody
what it
that
was.
works in customer service,
Kudos to you.
also, yeah, kudos to you. Also, the people who work like the customer service like phone line people for like
call centers.
call centers for like your cell phone carrier or your freaking
the
Excel
IT
bill
guys, or like if you're the billing
whatever.
people.
Like if you have to call like AT&T for something and you have to deal with like a customer service guy,
Dude.
good luck, first of all. But if like you get a good one, like I know that I've definitely been the asshole on the other side of the phone.
Yeah, but you also work some
But I've-
magic on the phone.
I have, but I've also like it takes me a minute to get to the asshole point.
Well, yeah, you have to be provoked.
Like I try really hard to like navigate the situation.
I see what you're saying, because
you
you
know,
understand that it's just a
but-
dude on the other end of the phone.
Correct.
Right?
And I'm trying to like just get the information to him. I'm trying to give him all the information, right? So there's no questions, and he can be like, all right, I have all the information. Now let me tell you the solution or whatever we need to do.
right.
But it's never that easy.
No.
It's like I tell him everything and he's like, please verify your last name.
You're like, bitch, I just
And I'm
gave you
like,
this.
guy, did you not just hear me?
You're right. That was like the first thing I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay. And when I feel like the other person is not like either like genuinely trying to help or like not actually listening to like what I'm saying. And they're just like going off of like a script or something like that. I'm like, you are definitely not listening. Like you are not hearing the words. Like, and I've said that to people before. I'm like, are you actually hearing like what I'm saying? Because what you're saying back to me, it means nothing. It solves nothing. And I've already done that.
Right.
As I just said.
Right.
So like, either get me to somebody else or figure something out, you know?
Circling back on that no patience for people thing.
There we go. Like, it gets me going. Trevor makes fun of me because he's like, your New York is coming out. And I was like, guy, stop.
Watch where you're walking. That's hilarious.
No, but like, I don't want to make it sound like we're like both like, screw people, because I genuinely do enjoy people. I do like people to an extent, but like it has to be
reason.
Yeah, like, and I think a lot of people will agree with that.
Yeah,
like obviously you're not gonna meet everybody in the world, and you're gonna like everybody that you encounter.
Just don't have that. I mean, but you also don't have that personality for that. You
are
not that person who just goes out and makes all the friends. Like that's
there
okay.
Probably are people that do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they're just completely like. Social and bubbly all the time
and just
talk to everybody,
just like click in, because those are the people that come find you to have random small talk, and you're like, my guy, I could give
I don't care about your interaction,
$0 about what you're thinking about right now, but I will pay you $4 to go away.
So is that why our circle is so small? I'm just kidding. No, it's because we're so busy with other things, I feel like.
Well, and it's like my head is just constantly, we are lucky I'm paying attention long enough for this to happen. Like
Same.
I've already got like 4 other projects in my head that I need to do when I get home. Like I got a list.
She's got a lot. He got a lot going on today up there.
It's been a weird one.
I know.
So it's just a matter of like, you got to catch it at the right time, right?
For
like
sure.
When you're feeling social, when you're rested and your energy level's good and you feel good, then great, go out and exercise that muscle.
Right.
But that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Is a muscle. Don't overwork it.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to tax yourself.
Nope.
You just got to get it out there
just
every once in a while. And
like when we went to Vegas last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Woo, Vegas. We went out and partied. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right? Well,
yeah,
kind of.
No, but like we went out to walk around the strip after our friends JJ fought.
Right.
We went back to our Airbnb, and then I was like, Trevor, let's go to the strip. Like, I wanted to go at night because I wanted to take my camera and take some pictures. And like, the lights are pretty, and like, it's just fun. Like people watching. We haven't been there in years, so I was like, let's go walk around for a little bit, play some slot machines, just whatever, have a little good time, And he did not want to go, but
he did.
He did. And I want to praise him for that. And I actually told him, like, again, like I told him, thank you, so much for coming. I know you didn't really want to do that, but he did. He did come, and he did it consciously knowing that it was important to me.
Right, because you wanted to go.
Because I wanted to go. And he knew that, like, I would have been bummed if we didn't go. And I would have been fine with it, but I definitely would have been bummed.
Right.
And he knew
because
that.
if he didn't want to go, you wouldn't have gone.
Right.
There's no way you're going out there by yourself.
Hell no.
No.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, I'm not saying that you couldn't.
I mean,
I'm just saying that you
I would have had to take something with me extra. Another accessory for my camera.
She's like, the extra camera.
The extra.
Tripod.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. The extra.
Extra.
Accessory.
Jeez.
Which we did have. But yeah, I'm obviously not gonna walk around Vegas by myself.
No.
On a Saturday night.
No. Don't do that.
Taking pictures when I'm taking a picture is the perfect time for someone to freaking snatch me up.
Yeah.
Like,
because you are very snatchable.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I weigh like 7 pounds. They'd be like, like a football.
Your legs are kicking.
Help me. That's funny.
But like, that's a solid. I mean, that's also a sign of growth. Yeah. I mean, it was just
really
understanding
cool that he did that.
Yeah.
I forgot why I actually brought up the fact that we went to Vegas. Oh, going out.
Yeah.
Because it was fun to just like be out. In
and
like
you played
that
like the slots,
like, in
and
that type of setting, and like be in the casino. Plus,
booze.
Vegas reminds me of my dad a lot, and the reason it's coming up a lot because his birthday is on Thursday. This Thursday.
Okay.
But we used to go to Vegas all the time when I was a kid. Like
Oh, yeah, because you're right there.
we would vacation there all the time. Like we would go there for like long
I was
weekends.
going to say, because it's only like, what, a 12-hour drive?
Mhm.
No, 8-hour drive from Phoenix to
It
Vegas?
was like 11,
yeah,
10, 11
10, 11.
from where we were at. But yeah, we would go. So it was just always like one of those things. I'm like, oh, Vegas reminds me of my dad all the
Right.
time because he was a huge gambler. Like back in the day, he would like come in with like when they still had the coins or like the chips.
Mm-hmm.
With, like,
oh,
the
like
buckets.
yeah.
He would come back in the hotel like 4 a.m. like with like buckets full of stuff. I'm like, oh my god,
Dude.
you had a good night, Dad?
Yep.
My mom's like, Earl, what do you stay out all night for?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
There's the buckets.
But it felt really good to go out and like, even though we weren't social with anybody else, it was nice to just be out around the people
like, when's
and like
the
in the
last time,
environment.
like, you've been
and-
out, like, not had to be here for this thing. Like, you just went out and did.
It was a long
stuff
time.
socially, right?
It was
like,
it's been a long time because we didn't go out in Florida. Rarely did we go out outside of work
Right.
or something small.
well, I mean, but you also kind of put yourself on an island out there.
yeah,
so
we were on an island. We were in the RVs. We were like,
It
we would be
was-
filming, and so like
you
every
were kind of just
yeah,
in a tight
and we were
knit.
always like on the move. So
Yeah.
like we would like sneak in and like see my brother sometimes. Like if we were close to him and we were stopping near him, I'm like, hey, come see us, you know.
Hi.
But yeah, like we were all over the place, so it was hard to like hone in.
and or go out and do stuff.
Yeah. And
Like-
like when you're working all the time and they're getting in fights all the time, like the last thing they want to go do is like
Is
go
like,
out and
yeah,
explore the
spend
freaking
more
area.
energy to
Yeah.
go people watch sort
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're
I
like,
can
no.
understand that. No, thank you.
Yeah, and that's fair. I understand that.
Yeah,
No, thank you.
no, thank you. Because I'm even wiped from some days where it's like, yeah, let's go do stuff. I'm like, you can go do that.
Goodbye.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No thanks.
it's hard.
Mm-hmm. There's been times like when we were in Florida, like when Trevor would be like diving a lot,
Mhm.
and he'd be like, "You want to come with and like hang out or whatever?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just gonna lay right here in the RV or on the freaking lounge chair and just do nothing."
exist. Yes. No, thank you.
Yeah,
I don't have to think
goodbye.
about stuff.
Have fun.
No.
Listen to like the birds chirp,
Right.
whatever.
That's awesome.
Play with Vinny. I think that wraps us up already for today.
It does put us there, doesn't it?
It does. If you have anything that you'd like to add today, please let us know what you dislike now that you've gotten older. Did you have anything else you wanted to add today? Did we talk about all of our things?
I think so. Yeah.
Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Go ahead, girl, let's raise